everybody, and welcome to another video tutorial. Today I'm going to be sharing with you how I created this card. I'm going to be featuring a Altenew stamp set, the Beautiful Day set, and also some of the Zig Clean Color Real Brush markers. And I will have a link down below to all of the products I use, as well as a blog post, so be sure to check out the description box below. My inspiration for this card came from Iram Tasneem. I am probably not pronouncing her name right, and I apologize, but I basically scrap lifted or card lifted the card that she created. I just loved it so much, the colors, and I love the gold embossing powder and everything, so I created my own. And I definitely wanted to be sure to give her credit because it's definitely not my design, and so I want you guys to go check her out. She makes such gorgeous cards. So I'm using the new Tim Holtz stamp platform to stamp my images on Bristol smooth cardstock. I used the flower outline stamp and some antique linen just to place my flowers where I wanted them, and then so I can build up the leaves and the other little elements that I'm adding to the card, because I'm going to be popping up the flowers that I color and then also some leaves, and I just wanted to make sure that I had it all not perfect, because it's definitely not perfect. I don't do things perfectly, but I wanted to make sure that I was able to see all of the other elements that I'm going to be adding. So now I place the leaves, and then there's like some stems and things in the stamp set, and I'm using Versamark, and then I will be using some super fine gold embossing powder. I love the superfine embossing powder. It really does do well with very intricate designs and stamps. I'm using my heat tool to melt the embossing powder, and I love doing this when I'm watercoloring because it helps me stay in the lines, and I'm not very good at that when I color. So this helps me. It's kind of a cheat method for me. And now after that has kind of cooled off, I am going to be adding a couple more different stems and little sprigs of flowers onto the card. I'm using Versamark again to stamp my images onto the paper, and I love this Tim Holtz stamp platform because it really helps me get it exactly where I want them. I recently got the EK Success powder embossing tool, and it's supposed to help eliminate some of the, the excess stickiness on your paper, so the embossing powder doesn't stick to places you don't want it to. All it is baby powder. I had no idea it was just baby powder in there. I thought it was some magical powder that was going to help me not get embossing powder anywhere that I didn't want it to, which I don't think, honestly, it doesn't really help, and maybe I'm not using it right. I even dumped some of the baby powder on there, and for me it doesn't really help any. So just wanted to give you guys a little tip and share with you guys my experience with this little tool. A lot of people love it, and it's probably user error because I just don't find that it really helps that much. So I am taking the Zig Clean Color Real Brush marker in the color Pale Rose, and this color is so gorgeous. And what I do is I take the marker, and then I just put a little bit of the color along the petals, and then kind of where I would think shadows would be, and it to be a little bit darker. And then I take my watercolor brush and just kind of blend it out. And my video does stop halfway through. My battery died on my camera and I didn't realize it. I had headphones on, so I didn't hear it beeping at me. I normally watch shows when I craft. So anyways, I think you probably get the gist of the coloring technique, because if I can do it, anybody could do it. I am not the greatest at coloring at all, but I am really, really surprised at how well the Zig Clean Color markers and the Bristol Smooth cardstock work together. I tried the markers on watercolor paper, and they did not blend well at all. and I am loving these markers. Very good investment, and I found them cheaper on Amazon, so I will have a link down below to where I purchased them. To color in my leaves, I'm using dark oatmeal, mid brown, and dark brown. And again, these are the Zig Clean Color Real Brush markers. And I just kind of put a little bit of color and just use my watercolor brush to blend it out. And the dark oatmeal has almost like a green tone to it. It's really pretty color, and I love how my leaves turned out, even though they're probably not technically shaded right or anything. But again, I'm not too worried about that. I just wanted them this brownish color. I'm using those same colors, and I'm kind of just drawing on this acrylic piece that I have, and then I use my watercolor brush to kind of spread it out. And I'm going to take the background paper that I worked on, and I embossed some of those leaves and stuff, and I'm going to be splotching on the color. So it's almost like a watercolor effect, and it kind of just kind of pools together and creates a really nice background. And I didn't want to brush on the color directly onto the paper because I didn't want it to be really dark or a really saturated color. I just wanted a nice brown tone in the back. So I colored a few of those flowers, or 2 of those flowers I should say, and then I did color I think 3 of the leaves, and I cut them out. And now I'm using some foam sheets I get at Walmart. They're in the kids section, to pop up one of the flowers, and then I just kind of tuck in the leaves, and I only end up using 2 of the leaves. I didn't realize that this stamp set came with dies, or I would have purchased them. I didn't mind cutting out the images just because there weren't really too much involved in cutting the leaves and the flowers out. But I will definitely be adding the dies to my collection because I see myself using this stamp set a lot. I had this scrap piece of paper that I was practicing embossing on, and how I wanted the card to be. And that's where I stamp my sentiment, and it says, "Wish you the most beautiful day." And then I just cut it at an angle, and then I just add it to my card. I use diamond glaze to add the sentiment to my card. It's really nice glue to add paper to paper. And then to finish up my card, I'm using some Prima sequins to add a little bit more interest to my card. And the little tool I'm using to pick them up is called a quick stick, and I will have a link down below to where you could purchase it. And I think that pretty much completes the card. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I love reading your comments, so leave one down below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. And also, if you want to share this video or any of your favorite videos on social media, it really helps me out. And I will catch you guys later. Bye!